Welcome ladies and gentlemen to the status report highlight for the 12th of April 2016. Brian, Victor, Miroslav and Race give us an update on current development in this status report. Subjects covered by the guys are blocker issues, network code, the new AI spawner and the new animation system. In addition to Hicks updates, we have some interesting reads from Miroslav, our lead gameplay programmer, Victor, our lead animator, and Race, the senior programmer responsible for DayZ's central economy. That aside, let's look at what our current critical issues are for the release of 0.60 to experimental branch. Loot distribution. Current internal builds have an issue. We're chasing down the drop's globally spawned quantities of items to about 3,000 in certain situations, server states. This is around 17,000 to 18,000 less than the acceptable minimum operating value. This issue is one of the top priorities for the designers currently, as it effectively makes the title near unplayable. Stuck magazines. The gameplay programming team are working on an issue that causes magazines during the reload process to become stuck within the player's inventory, thus causing several cascading failures, with players' inventories requiring them to disconnect and reconnect to resolve the issue. Sliding players. The QA team encountered a 100% repro rate series of steps to cause players to become stuck in a sliding state, regardless of laying, prone or erect. These steps have been provided to the gameplay programming team and they are working on resolving the issue. Playability of the new UI inventory. The design and gameplay programming teams are wrapping up the last of the playability issues, moving to the new UI, as functional support for the legacy UI won't be possible moving forward with the new Infusion renderer. Since the last status report, the team has nailed down the last blocking bugs on the renderer side, squashed some nasty virtual machine server exception issues, resolved blocking issues with nav mesh generation, infected AI behavior, several critical client crash bugs, a new nasty issue with the desync of player's position, and rolled out the support for configuring all the initial required graphical options within the options menu for the new renderer release. Look at what the engine programming team have taken on and ahead of them for the Infusion renderer. MSAA implementation, alpha to coverage implementation, resolved all issues flagged as must fix or blockers for 6.0. Current focus is on new UI and renderer major and minor severity level issues. Aside from the current issues Hicks has mentioned, Hicks is a bit concerned of the network state of vehicles. With the team focused on a milestone goals for 6.0, the team haven't been able to give the attention to iterating on network synchronization, performance and physics on our current group of vehicles. Hicks thinks they're far from where he'd like them to be, but will more than likely have to put off improving their state to somewhere more enjoyable for the early access player base to future builds. Each day moves us closer to having a build the team are confident and able to move to experimental branch, and no one group of people want it out there more than the developers. Lastly, before Hicks signs off for the status report, and we say this a lot, this will be just the first public iteration of this portion of the Infusion engine. In addition to iteration and progression from feedback and bug reports from the early access player base, we'll also be working with GPU manufacturers to figure out how best to use their technologies to maximum effect, and get DayZ optimized for use in future drivers from said manufacturers. In Miroslav's last status report, he mentioned that we are rewriting some important parts of the network code. Well, the work is finished and the first testing showed improvements on server performance and server response time, so these changes will be available in experimental build from the start, and if nothing goes wrong, they will hit the stable release too. 2 weeks ago we started revisiting another important part of networking, the login process. Now, it's possible that you are present on the server before you actually play, so you can be attacked by AIs and players, and you don't have an opportunity to defend. Not common for this to occur, but possible in some edge cases. This will be fixed, but not in 6.0. These changes will allow us also implementation of a login queue, which will help us to control server performance in case a lot of concurrent players are connecting, and a waiting queue will be available too. Last time Miroslav mentioned changes in the AI spawner. Here we have a few words from programmer Race, who's responsible for central loot economy implementation. Lots of new and horribly ugly looking infected are going to be swarming Churnerus. We have almost finished the new system and tools on area, spawn rules, and group types definition in order to create believable distribution. Doctors will haunt hospitals, police will be most probably found in stations surrounding areas. Different infected types may be stronger and faster than others. Every city and village will get various combinations depending on its size, position, and importance. We're still not sure if the new AI spawner will hit 6.0, or at least experimental, but the team will try their best. Here are a few screenshots from the spawner testing, but please keep in mind that these are from testing, and it's possible that there won't be so high AI counts in release. When thinking about what has happened in the last 2 weeks on the animation team, Victor has realized that there is so many different animations being worked on. He has decided to put together a quick compilation of some of them that have been done just recently. There are new reload animations for M4, for Red 9, and CR527. Weapon guys have been busy with adding missing animations for vehicles, opening and closing doors and hoods, with tons of variations to cover all vehicles. We have started to create a new graph for infected for an upcoming animation system. Because of that, we came back to an idea to bring variations for infected locomotions, where there will be multiple different idles, walks, runs and sprints, so they look a bit different when moving around. Also, some extra animations are in progress, like attacking doors. This week there will be the already mentioned mocap session, so we will get loads of new data for us to work on. Remember, all screenshots and video footage you see in the status report are work in progress, as always. Things may change, but mainly these are animations that have been finished in the past week or two, so they are still far from being implemented. Moreover, the team still need to have the new animation system in first. And that's all for this week's status report highlight for the 12th of April 2016. As always, I recommend you read the status report in full for yourselves for the most amount of information that they hold. All links are in the description below. Remember to hit that like button as it helps the channel out a lot, and I'll see you peeps next time.